I think trying to expose yourself to slight risk, you know, can gradually improve your risk tolerance, right?
Yeah.
And get you out of the mindset that everything is always going to be worst case scenario, and what can happen will happen, right? I generally assume that the worst thing isn't going to happen, right? And that if it is, it probably would still be survivable, won't be that bad, right? But again, part of that is just because I've probably thus far in my life been fairly lucky that the worst thing hasn't happened to me, right? But I do think just your day-to-day like thought processes and your habits can definitely have some effect. I think it's a mistake to assume that you are entirely in control of it, right? Because just like anything else, you're not, right? It's hard generally to assign like a level of like responsibility, like how much of it are you responsible for and how much aren't you responsible for. That's a really fucking difficult thing. Like how much credit to take for something or not, or how much blame to take, is really something you always have to try and just exercise your own judgment on. Because like on the one hand, you can't say to someone who's got genuine like things to worry about, oh, you're just being a pussy, man. You know, get out this fucking loser mindset. Like that is just shocking, man. But on the other hand, you don't want people to feel like they're helpless either. You know what I mean? And these are two extremes.
Mindset. Yeah, you need to find that fine balance.
These are the extremes, right? And this is where just your judgment as a person comes in, right? I worry not like occasionally about things. I don't worry about anything career-wise because I've saved enough money to not really, you know, to at least to survive off until I get a job or do something else if I really have to. You know what I mean? I don't worry about health things because I'm generally in good nick. I'm having my first child. That's probably the most anxiety that I've experienced for a long time, because there's a child inside someone's belly and you can't see it and ask it if it's okay and be like, you know, is this normal? Like, is it, you know what I mean? Oh shit, the baby hasn't kicked for a while. Do I need to fucking phone the hospital or some shit like that? And it's like, this shit is like, it's just first baby syndrome, I think. Like maybe I think it gets easier.
I think it's justified worrying. Like
I think it gets easier, at least from what people have said. Like your second kid and stuff like that. Second one, you're like, fuck it, let's have a fag and a wine.
I'm number 4. No wonder I came out. They dropped me on my head.
So like I do experience some anxiety on that front, just because like shit that you care about so much, like it's just two sides of the same coin, man. Love and worry are just linked forever. You just cannot give a shit about something without also you get the pain with the pleasure, man. You know what I mean? That's just life.
Yeah, you're definitely one of the most worry-free people I've ever met in my life. Have you ever gone through a stage where you are feeling depressed or anxious chronically? Because I know one stage you're broke. When you moved to Australia with Tommy B, you said, you know, you had very little funds and you went off to Australia. So tell that story.
Yeah, but
we want the rags to riches, Joe.
I have had like zero in my bank account plenty of times, right? But I've always had a family where I could go back to my mum's house and kip on the couch, kip in a spare, not even the couch, have my bedroom back if I want to, which is pretty fucking, it's quite a safety net, right? So my zero ain't the same as someone else's zero, really. Like, I'm not saying, it's not like silver spoon, you know, but like I could always go back and live with mum and dad and they'd put food on the table for me. It'd be fine. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's the worst case scenario for me was only just like social stuff, as in like it looks a bit shit to be like you're trying to go on a date with some girl and like you ain't got much to show her, like, do you know what I mean? Not that you don't want to get into that, but like, you know what I mean, you can't be picking her up in the original fucking the first Vauxhall Corsa that you got as your first. That ain't gonna fly, man. Do you know what I mean?
Man, shout out to the
not when you're in your 30s anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's entirely fine when you're younger and you find your feet. In fact, let me just go on a slight fucking slight tangent.
Please.
I think in that sense,
the tangent cast.
in that sense, it's more about having a path and a trajectory and being driven and showing aspiration towards something rather than what you have right now. I think that's more accurate. Like when it comes to like girls dating, etc.,